Ahava blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shahina. This podcast is here to support us and guide us during these times of heightened energy to embody, integrate, remember our soul essence. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, a Reiki master, energy and sound healer. And I am your guide for this powerful activation that is 2025. So this episode is about the energetics of 2025. Happy New Year. I hope that you rang in this new year with abundance and joy and beauty and grace and peace. And most of all, creation, creativity, and beauty. 2025 is a very powerful year. It is a number 9 year. So it is a year that has to do with cycles, with endings, with new beginnings, with completion, with wholeness, with encompassing all that has come before. And it is a very, very potent year. And I'm sure that many of us have come off of the 8-year that was 2024 with a lot of lessons. And some of us may be completely ready for the new year and just we're done with all of the turmoil that 2028 may have brought us. But as with anything in this mystical evolution of expansion and of creation, everything has a significant meaning, particularly in the Kabbalistic, the mystical traditions of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. So if you don't know me, welcome. I do want to say a little bit about how I work with the cycles. So I work with the cycles from a mystical, Kabbalistic perspective. It's a much more holistic way of viewing the world. It's not so much black or white or this is good or this is bad. It's more about the creation energy of this year. Hello, Husky. Apologies, my Husky decided to come in and grace us with her presence. Sometimes she does that. She's an elderly beauty, so I allow her free range. So I was speaking about the energies of this number 9 year and about how 2025 is about expansion. It is about co-creation. It is about being intentional. It is really a year of letting go and purifying whatever it is that needs to be cleared in order to make way for the new. We cannot begin a new cycle, a new iteration, a new evolution, a new expansion into a more embodied version of your soul without clearing the way, without making sure that whatever old stuff that we're holding on to is complete and we let it go. Now, the other thing that has been coming through is that this year is all about gratitude. It is about bringing yourself to a deeper level of grace and of gratitude. Why gratitude? Because we cannot expand and receive the blessings of the divine, of your soul mission, your soul contract, your soul expansion without gratitude. And gratitude is something that we often don't really think about. We tend to live in a society where in the West in particular, where we believe that we are entitled to certain things, and if things don't go the way that we want, we tend to get upset and we get irate. And, we either oscillate between a sense of indignation or a sense of, I'm a bad person, somehow I must not deserve this. It's never somewhere in between, from what I have seen. And what I invite you to cultivate during part of you that is infinitely connected to the infinite cosmic oneness, to Allah, Divine Mother, Father, God, Goddess, however you call this creative energy that is within us and is all around us. Everything around us has this spark of the divine. We may not see it, we may not acknowledge it. He or she or whatever situation may not be expressing its full light. However, there are no accidents in this universe. The divine is infinitely intelligent. It's an infinitely radiant cosmic energy that is infused in everything and everyone around us. So the moment that we begin to be in the ego, that's when we're not having gratitude. And gratitude is not just I'm grateful for the blessings or the job or the beloved. It's I'm grateful for the fact that I am breathing. I am grateful for even the minute things, the fact that I woke up this morning, the fact that I have a home, a roof over my head, food in the refrigerator, etc. I have beautiful, in my case, huskies. I have this home. I have friendships. All of those things are blessings from the divine. And they are part of how our soul has chosen to express. And our soul has a divine contract with the divine, with Allah, to express and have a purpose and a mission. And this mission is to be fully embodied. This mission is for you to remember your oneness, your infinite self, and to purge the parts of ourselves that seek to be in separation, that seek to otherize the other, in quotes, instead of bringing everything into union. So let's talk about the number 9. So the number 9, as I mentioned, has to do with completion, has to do with purification. It has to do with the unconscious mind. It is creation before life, before existence. So it is that point of cosmic union where all is one. Everything is possible because everything is in that quantum field. Everything is in this space, in this liminal space of the void, the cosmic womb, the Avon, whatever we call it, doesn't matter the name. This point from which creation emanated is the number 9. It is the ability to recognize that we are interdimensional and that we are constantly expressing in multiple dimensions. It is wisdom, intuition, the awakening of consciousness, spiritual vision, the awakening of consciousness and spirituality. It is innovation. The image is that of the priestess, the high priestess in the Tarot. It is the being, the priestess that stands between the worlds, that merges duality into unity, into oneness. This is the 9. It is a time, it's also associated with prophecy because the 9 is associated with the moon. The moon was created by the Aramaic letter Tav, and it's also the frequency of Tet as well, because Tet is the 9th letter in the Aramaic Hebrew alphabet. So let's get to the moon energy. The moon represents love is also a seal, and it symbolizes the seal of truth on the covenant between our soul, our spark of the divine that we are, and the divine. And this seal, this is the soul contract, the agreements we entered into to live and to experience certain things. Now, as human beings, we like to judge whether something is good or bad based on how it made us feel, but we don't take into account that everything in our lives is a stepping stone. Everything is fuel for the fire of your sacred flame, your huba, your sacred flame of holy desire, to shine brighter, for you to not only embody your light, but to expand and generate more light. And what does this have to do with our intentions? It has to do with our intentions, because the how, why, when behind the intention infuses that intention with the light of the divine, or if the intention is based in ego, based in I want to look better than the competition, or I'm comparing myself to, my mother's version of who I should be, etc. Whenever we base our intentions, which are the seeds of our creation, in something that is egoic, something that is shallow, something that is not in alignment with the divine, with the soul, then what we create the space for is negativity to enter. We create the space for other stuff to be filtered in. I don't know why this is coming up, but it's got to be relevant. So I was watching a TV show, and there was some violence in there, and I am often very sensitive, and I'm always, because I know stories are in some level based on people's remembrances, I'm always sending healing when I encounter triggering or instances in film or television or books that remind me of situations that perhaps my soul lived, or that I know for a fact other souls have lived, because everything that we create as art does have a foundation energetically in the cosmic, in the psyche, the human psyche, the human subconscious. So what was interesting was, in this story, there was a family that was seeking to be in alignment with the land and nourishing and cultivating the land. And there was a businessman who clearly didn't feel that decency applied to him. And he basically was trying to take this ranch, and because he wanted to basically extract all of the minerals and all of the gold deposits from the land. So he wanted to basically rape the land. Meanwhile, this family wanted to preserve the land. So you can kind of tell where this is going, can't you? The intention behind your actions really dictate how that seed will germinate and expand. So what this person, this fictional character, and any human being who's actually believes that there is no decency, because that person is entitled to behave the way that they feel they are entitled to behave, that there are no consequences, is not taking into account the cosmic laws. There are cosmic laws that govern existence, and a soul that defies these cosmic laws, while yes, that is part of their soul contract to basically play this antagonist version of a human being, it's also the more atrocious ferocious that person's actions, the more that they are not in alignment with the law of the divine, the law of light, with goodness, with hesed, with kindness, the more that that soul, when it crosses over, is going to have to go through some kind of, the way that I'm being shown it is there's a reintegration into goodness and wholeness and completeness, because the more that one acts against divine order, against goodness, against the light, the more that one breaks away pieces of the light, the spark that we all possess. We break away pieces of our soul and we lose them. Trauma does this, lies, being abusive, being verbally, mentally, physically abusive. All of these take parts of your soul and fracture them. So there are beings who, on the other side, their job is to bring this soul that has strayed so far from the light in human experience, in that incarnation, back into wholeness. And it's a process, and it's not the most easiest process to undergo as a soul, because your soul knows beauty and grace and oneness and peace and unity. That is the true essence of your soul. So if in this human experience we are not living up to that embodiment of the fullness of our soul, then we are fracturing ourselves and bringing us into more and more separation from the divine, which creates more and more chaos and more pain and more heartache. And all we are going to see in our lives is a complete and utter mess. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how big your car or how fancy your home or how many degrees you have, because nothing will fill the emptiness that exists within the being that has fractured their soul to that point. So the first thing we must do is have compassion. Have gratitude for the good and the bad. Know that everything is a stepping stone, and have compassion, because beings that are perpetuating separation and ill will and all of this shady nonsense, what they are doing is they are fracturing their soul. They are distorting and separating themselves even further from divine light, from the cosmic, infinite, divine presence. And we're in this cycle, in this year of completion. And the last thing we want to do is continue the downward spiral of embodying the lower aspects of the ego as opposed to embracing and living from our light. The more that we expand in grace, in love, in beauty, the more we will experience freedom and bliss and liberation. It is not up to us to judge another being's expression. I've said this before, and it bears repeating. It is not up to any one of us to judge another being's expression, because we don't know what karma they signed up for. We don't know what their soul contract reads, and it's not for us to know. What is for us to know and to do is to always be choosing to embody our light, be choosing goodness, grace, beauty, love, particularly in alignment with truth, alignment with your soul, particularly in this cycle that is a 9-year. It is a year of completion. It is a year of expansion. It is a year of manifestation. However, in order to manifest, is energy in the trees and the plants and the soil and the food. And the birds and the bees and the trees. There is energy all around us. And so many of us, particularly here in the US, we're so disconnected. We're so disconnected from the cycles of the earth. We're so disconnected from the trees and nature and the cycles of the cosmos and the cycles of ourselves. We are so divorced from our soul that we don't know what we're doing. We've become so separated and so jaded and so easily distracted and manipulated that we are willing to turn on one another because that's what it said on the idiot tube. And this is what we have to heal. We must come back into union with the earth, into a respect, a understanding that we are in a symbiotic relationship with Gaia. She nourishes us, she supports us, and we in turn feed her. In Andean traditions, Gaia is a dragon, and there are dragon ley lines all over the world that are reawakening, that are stirring with the life force of the dragon. And the dragon is a very powerful creature, and it is not a being that we control. So this whole thinking that we can save Earth doesn't need saving. She's been doing fine for billions of years, and she will do fine after us. So the arrogance that it takes for humanity to go into a place of, oh, I have to save the Earth. Cut the bullshit. You're basically trying to placate your ego by thinking that you're doing something when you're not. There are cycles happening that are far deeper and more ancient than anything that our human consciousness can understand. So let's get out of this virtue signaling bullshit, because it doesn't matter what you do on social media. It doesn't matter what you do when you're in front of people and the cameras are rolling. What matters is who you are behind the scenes when no one is looking. Who are you then? Are you still a person who is worthy of respect, worthy of honor? Are you still a person of your word? Are you still truthful? Are you still kind? Are you still loving? Are you still honest? Or are you the kind of person that when you're being seen, you portray a better PC perspective version of you, but when you're not, you'll be unkind to the waiter. You'll talk badly to your mother. You'll talk badly about yourself. That also fractures the soul. So, who are we deep down? Are we a person that is constantly doing the inner work to align with the light, to align with our soul? To recognize that we are human and we will have failings, no one is perfect, but that does not mean that we give up and we get carte blanche to be a dickhead. It doesn't. It means we must try harder. It means we have more work to do, and every single one of us has more work to do, particularly in this year. This year is full of blessings for us. However, what are we aligning to? What is the frequency we are holding in our hearts? Is it a frequency of love? Is it a frequency of kindness and goodness and light? Or is it a frequency of anger and separation and shame and guilt and ostracizing people simply because they don't behave the way you think they should behave? remember, no one here is in a place where we know what's what. We can choose to align with it. We can choose to receive the downloads. But what are we doing with it? Are we misusing that information? Are we using it for our own self-aggrandizement? Are we using it for the ego? Or are we using it to create more light and more goodness? The other Aramaic letter that is aligned with this year is the Det, which is the ninth letter, and that has to do with life's purpose, with royal, abundant energy, and again, intention, knowing why you are doing things, connecting with the divine, connecting with the earth, knowing that we are all part of this cosmic infinite oneness. There is no separation. Separation is an illusion. Separation is not the truth. And at the same time, we do have free will. We have free will and the power to choose wisely, hopefully, whether we are going to align with the divine or we are going to continue to perpetuate separation in our lives. Gratitude, beauty, grace, joy. Huskies too. We are all in this together. This year promises to be a beautiful year. Allow what needs to be cleared to be cleared. Oh, and also, let's not set intentions just yet. We are in the dead of winter in the Northern Hemisphere. Learning to work with the cycles, part of that is learning to cycle with the earth as well as with the cosmic realm, as well as with the moon. So there are multiple layers of cycling that is happening, and that's not even counting the cycling in your own body. So let's hold off on intentions. Why? Because we're in the dead of winter. Nothing grows right now. Now is the time to go within, to purify, to cultivate, to go and seek, tend to the soil, tend to the inner world, so that when you're ready to seed after Imbolc, which is February 1st, your seedings can be fruitful, because it's all about timing. Timing is everything. We have our plan, and the divine laughs. I'm sure you've heard that one. We have our human notion of time, and there is the cosmic cycle of time. There is the cycle that works on a far more deep and mystical and ancient level. And that is the cycle that we are choosing to align to, because we are going within to purify, to cultivate, to nourish the waters of our creation. Whatever needs to be purified, whatever is being stripped away from you at this point, allow it to go. Sometimes we have a tendency to just hold on for dear life because we think that we need that thing or that person or that situation, when ultimately all it's doing is holding us back. To hold on is not fruitful. Surrender. And with surrender, that can trigger a lot. When I speak of surrender, I speak of allowing. It doesn't mean we give up. It doesn't mean we don't do anything. It doesn't mean we just let things happen. It means that we choose to align to a deeper cosmic alignment, to a deeper way of being and embodying. And it is beautiful to learn how to surrender, particularly feels like several lifetimes, being in the masculine energy, and that's terrible for a woman. It's terrible because woman is meant to receive. We cannot receive if we are in the masculine. And for years, I had this deeply masculine way of viewing the world where surrender was not even an option because I was trained to do, to go, to forge ahead, to be strong, and to not let anything defeat me. It's a horrible way to grow up. I can acknowledge where it can serve myself and beings. However, if that's all you know, forget about manifesting. There is no way you're going to be able to manifest properly because you're not allowing yourself to receive. You do need to create action, and you do need to move forward, and you do need to, in some stages, forge ahead. However, we must have the wisdom to balance that action, the masculine yang energy, with the feminine receptive energy. Because if we are not connected to the divine flow of things, it doesn't matter how strong we are, how much we wish to manifest one thing, it's not going to be sustainable. It's just not. So the biggest blessing that I have cultivated in my life, and how I have created the expansion and the beauty and the blessings, well, co-created, because it's not really mine, it's the divine that is working through me, has been to learn how to surrender, to learn how to be in the feminine, to learn how to receive, to learn how to be. And that is what the soul wants. The soul wants to be. The soul doesn't need to do. The soul just needs to be allowed to be in presence. And the most magical thing we can experience is to truly receive our soul and to commune with our soul and commune with the divine. To let go of the fear. Let go of the doubt. Let go of all of the stuff, the human programming that keeps us perpetually in separation and in perpetual comparison in the ego. The ego is necessary to quantify. For expansion, the ego knows nothing of it. So we must employ the ego in a way that allows your soul to breathe, allows your soul to come in and be at home in your vessel, to be expressing its light, to be sharing its light, to be expanding, to be creating beauty. The soul loves beauty. And to know that nothing I've manifested really is me. I may have been the vessel through which I took some actions, but it's all been the divine. It's all been my soul and the divine that has been allowed to work through me, to share wisdom through my voice, through my presence, through every interaction, the energy healing sessions I do, the teachings, the workshops, the sound baths, all of that. It's not me. It's the divine yourself to surrender to the divine, surrender to your soul, awaken the Huba, purify what needs to be purified, clear what needs to be cleared, and remember who you are. Remember who you came here to be. Remember the agreements that you agreed to. And let go of judgment, let go of guilt, let go of shame, let go of all the nonsense that keeps us in separation. Because at the end of our life, it really is going to be about whether we embodied our soul, whether we lived true to the divine light, the spark that is within us, or whether we got caught up in the nonsense and forgot and chose to remain in slumber. Some souls, maybe that's what they need, but I know that there are many of us that that's not why we came here. And so we share, and so we light the candle to awaken and inspire and enliven others on their path. Have a blessed 2025. Let's hold off until February-ish to set intentions. But in the meantime, purify, cleanse, allow yourself to align with your soul so you know what it is that you are going to be seeding and why you're going to be seeding it. And then we begin to seed our intentions. Right now we just go within. Right now we're in stillness, in silence, and we are in receptivity. That's the other thing I find quite disturbing, how we feel bad for allowing ourselves to receive. We feel like we're not doing anything. But being in a receptive state, in a state of gratitude and grace, is the most powerful way that we can magnetize our desires to us. Because when we are in open receptivity, we are aligning with our light. And the more light we can hold, the more magnetic we become, and the more we can align with the truth and with our soul, with the light of the divine, and with our mission and our purpose. So, if you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget, Conscious Life Expo is happening in February. Check the link